I think I got all the cats down here. Here's 5. I see 6. Where's number 7? Who are we missing? Sammy. Where's Sammy? Sammy! Is Sammy down here?
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It's 7 a.m. and Splash is resting comfortably on this chair in the living room. So we had a very early morning because at 5:30 a.m. I heard Simba scream. And the first thing I thought was, who is he screaming at? Because the kittens are downstairs. And then I was like, I better check the security camera to see what's going on. So it ends up that Simba was resting peacefully in this cat tower, and Splash came up to this chair, which is next to this cat tower, and instigated a fight with Simba. So the two of them had a standoff for a little while, and then Simba tried to defend himself by lashing out against Splash. Who's fighting who? It's all related. But I actually think it's good because I think maybe the two of them are kind of practicing their attacks and defenses with each other, because that's what they say kittens do. They say kittens learn to fight with each other and play with each other and, you know, not take it too far with regards to fighting with each other and, you know, learning boundaries with other cats. That's what they say. And when Splash and Simba were little, they used to wrestle and play fight all the time, like a lot. Much more than they do now. They hardly ever do that. So when I saw what was going on, that's what I thought it was, because the two of them really need to up their game with regards to being able to kind of create boundaries for themselves and be firm in those boundaries with regards to other cats. And when I say that, I mean, you know, if one of the kittens goes up to Boo, Boo stands firm and stares him down and swats at them, and he's like, get away from me. And Stella will do the same thing. But Splash and Simba won't. And once again, it goes back to the fact that they've never had to defend themselves or fight for themselves or survive on their own. All the other cats have had to do that. Stella and Boo have had to do that, and all the kittens have had to do that. So it puts Simba and Splash at a disadvantage. Anyway, also this morning, Splash was using litter boxes more often than necessary. So what I did was, first I gave him a squeeze up with some of the kidney and bladder herbs in it. It's a tincture that I use. And after he had that, then all the other cats wanted something also. So then I gave everyone a little bit of Sheba, like a third of a salmon Sheba, with some salmon oil, because salmon oil or fish oil is anti-inflammatory. So I thought that would also be good for Splash. And then after they had that, I was like, okay, you guys just want your breakfast. So I gave them their breakfast, and they each had like 4 or 5 drops of apple cider vinegar in their breakfast, which is supposed to help with UTIs. And I also gave Splash about 8 drops of CBD oil. So he's resting comfortably now, and I'm just going to let him rest for a while because, you know, for the past few hours he has not been feeling too good, going from litter box to litter box. I am going to get ready for my day. I was up early. I'm definitely dealing with a lack of sleep. I don't even know if I had 5 hours of sleep last night. I went to bed probably around 11:30, but I did not fall asleep right away. So I probably fell asleep sometime after midnight, let's say maybe like by 12:30. And if I was up at 5:30, that's 5 hours, if I'm lucky, 5 hours. So I'm going to try to make it through the majority of my day. I might crash in the afternoon, maybe take a nap, but I'm going to see how much of my day I could get through. If I could get through the whole day and just go to bed early, that would be the best thing, because I could get up early tomorrow and then I have to get up early the day after. So we'll see what happens. The kittens downstairs have been fed, and after I finish getting ready for my day, I'll go back down there, see if they need more food, and ideally I'd be able to get Splash, Stella, and Simba, or at least Splash and Simba, in my room and bring the kittens up today, but I don't want to disturb Splash, so maybe in a few hours he'll want to move, but for now he's just very happy. And here's Simba. Simba's in the cat tower in my room. So they ate their breakfast and now they're going to take naps. I haven't even eaten my breakfast and I don't get the luxury of taking a nap right now. It's 10:52 a.m. I just walked into the kitchen to get a cup of tea, and I see 2 of the cats here, Nancy and it looks like little Eva. They're by the door and they're looking at something. And I'm like, what are you guys looking at? You're watching some birds? Let me see if I could show you what they're looking at. Okay, it moved. There it is. Can you see it? So it's a tabby cat. And it's a big tabby cat. And I saw this tabby cat the other day drinking water from the water bowl on the patio. And it looks exactly like Simba. I mean, not exactly 100%, not the same nose, but I would say 90% looks like Simba. Look at this. Now we have a group congregating here. I just put the kettle back on. I'm trying to boil some water. They all have a front row seat. Who do you see? Who's out there? Do you know him or her? Do you know him or her? Who's that cat? Who's that cat? So there's the cat. The cat is back. Nancy and Richard are ripping up a paper bag. That's the noise in the background, but here's the cat. I know there's a lot of reflections. Can you see how much it looks like Simba? And there it goes running. It's 11 a.m. Let me tell you what just happened. So I came downstairs to give the kittens a can of food because they seemed like they were still hungry because they were eating a bag. So I was like, okay, let me open one more can of wet food for them. So I go down to the room, I pop open the can, I put it on the platter, I walk out here with the platter, and so I come downstairs, pop open the can, put the food on the platter, come out here with the platter, and who's sitting on the steps? It's Boo. So 3 or 4 of the kittens were down here. Boo was in the middle of the steps, and then the 2 torties were on top of the steps. And Boo was like, he wants food. So I gave him the platter, and he was sniffing it, but Ziggy came to eat on the platter with him, and he didn't like it, so then he got mad at her. And he like warned her, get away from me. So she backed away, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to have to put a little bit of food on a plate for Boo and give it to him so he could eat separately from these cats. But it was very, very brave of Boo to come down like and sit on the steps with these cats all around him. And it just goes to show that, you know, he knows he's tougher. He thinks he's king of this entire tribe. So I put the platter down here. You can see there's cats eating. And as I came up the steps, I figured Ziggy and Goldie would run in the opposite direction, which they did, and that gave Boo a chance to come up the steps also without having to attack them. Here's Boo now. Did you finish your food, Boo? Come on. So this is where I gave Boo his food here on the play rug. He ate it all, so I might open another can and give him some more. Let me show you what's going on in here. So Stella and Splash were luxuriating on the bed. So I gave each of them about a quarter of a can of the food that I opened for Boo. And I gave some to Simba on top of the armoire. Simba's not eating it. He's happy in Penthouse. So the book that I've been reading recently says that if you're feeding your cat low-carb foods, you can let them eat all they want. Like, you don't have to limit their portions. And that's an issue that happens when you feed your cats food that's higher in carbs. The higher carbs make them hungrier because it affects their insulin levels, and they also retain more weight from it. And they say that feral cats living in nature normally eat around 5% carbs as a part of their diet in the form of like grasses and seeds and whatever in the digestive tract of their prey. Actually, Simba just came out. He's eating his food now. So that's why over the past few days what I've been doing is swapping out canned food for crunchies, or in some cases even raw food for crunchies. And the book also says for snacks, instead of typical snacks, which are always very, very high in carbs, to get the freeze-dried treats because the cats like them just as much. But to be honest, if I could get the cats off of crunchies altogether and just give them wet food or raw food, I'd be perfectly happy with that. So we'll see what happens. This is not super low carb food. It's lower carb than the food that I've been giving them. So even though something is completely healthy with all good ingredients, it doesn't mean it's a low carb food for cats, which is really tricky because even though like the fruit or vegetable ingredients may be like way lower down the list and the first 5 ingredients may all be meat related, if you actually do the calculation, the amount of carbs is usually higher than what it should be. So this food that I'm giving them is just some Friskies poultry platter, and it does not have any of the fruit or vegetable additives that are in the other meals. Now this does have some rice in it, which is what makes it higher carb than it should be. So I think this is like around 12%. They say for cats you want to keep it at 10% or lower. And the Shibas have less carbs than Friskies. So out of all the food that I calculated that I had in the house, the Shibas had the lowest amount of carbs. So normally I would just open a Shiba, but because I opened a can of Friskies for the kittens downstairs, again, just because I'm using what I have, that's why I figured let me just open up another can and give Boo some of that to keep him happy. And then I split it 4 ways. So they're only getting like not even 2 ounces each because it's only a 5.5 ounce can split 4 ways. So what are they getting? Like not even an ounce and a half. It sounds like Nancy's crying at the door, but nobody's coming in. So Splash just used the litter box. He wasn't in there for very long, which is good because sometimes he'll sit in there for like 5 minutes. And he just came out, jumped to the top of the cat tower. So he seems to be feeling better today. We'll see how the day goes. Another thing that the book says about low-carb food for cats is that they will have more energy after they eat it. And when these cats were living outside, they were not getting the best food. They were probably getting food that was pretty high in carbs because I was giving them, like Friskies and like regular supermarket brand dry food in the automatic feeder outside. And I remember when they used to kill a bird or some kind of prey, then they would have so much energy off of that. And that's when I was like, I really need to start looking into feeding them raw food because every time they ate some kind of raw food outside that they had killed themselves, their energy level was so much greater than the food that I was giving them. So that's like one of the main reasons why I started them on raw, because I noticed like a huge difference in their behavior when they ate raw versus when they ate the food that I was giving them. And then, of course, I started looking into, okay, well, what's really in the cat food? Because, you buy cat food, you think it's healthy because it's being sold as healthy cat food, and it's not necessarily the case. Yeah, it's really eye-opening. There's some very eye-opening things in that book that I've been reading, and I hope to share the information in a video, either way before this video is posted or sometime around the time this video is posted. And today I do plan on going, I don't know, to Petco or PetSmart or somewhere and looking at what they're selling and finding a really good low-carb food for the cats. It is 6 p.m. and I think I got all the cats down here. Here's 5. I see 6. Where's number 7? Who are we missing? Sammy. Where's Sammy? Sammy! Is Sammy down here? There's Sammy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got all 7 cats, and it was very easy to get them down here. The girls were pretty much looking for food, and the boys were sleeping under the day sofa upstairs. So what I do is I just lift the cover on the day sofa and I show them a paper platter, and then I go into the kitchen and I open a can of food and put it on the platter. Then that gets them out of bed, and they walk into the kitchen, and then I get them all down here. So that's what's going on right now, and I'm going to put some platters of food together for them. We're going to try some of this new low-carb food that I bought today. So today I had to go to Costco, and there's a Petco right near Costco, so I went to Petco. They had nothing. I could not buy a single can of cat food at Petco because they had one brand of wet cat food that was low carb, but it had sunflower oil in it, and I will not buy any kind of wet cat food that has seed oils in it, so couldn't do that. I ended up in Walmart, which was right next door. So I ended up getting a few kinds of Fancy Feast pate and then some Purina 1. Not all the Fancy Feast is low carb. A few of the options were, and a few of the Purina 1 options were low carb also. I also picked up some of the beech nut baby food because that is no carb. It's much better than the Gerber baby food. And from there I went to PetSmart, and there I bought some varieties of Shiba pate. Those are low carb. And some freeze-dried snacks, right, Sammy? So we're gonna try half of tonight's dinner is going to be the Purina 1, and then half is going to be the food that they've been eating. Look at this. Sammy goes on the wheel all by herself. You gonna run on the wheel, Sammy? Show us how you run. Show us how you run. Come on, run up over here. Run on the wheel, Sammy. Run on the wheel. Sammy, run on the wheel. Run. Run, Sammy, run. She likes sitting on it also. Go ahead, run on the wheel, Sammy. Show us how good you run on that wheel. No, you don't want to do it? Alright. It is 10:50 p.m. Here's Simba. He's laying on the bed. And I'm just about to go to bed myself. But I just wanted to document. So today is the first day of low-carb food for the cats, meaning 10% or less of carbs, except for like literally maybe 10 little crunchies, and except for Splash, because I was trying to get some of his UTI supplements into him with Squeeze Up, and Squeeze Ups are, I think they're around 16-17% carbs. Overall, it was a good day. I did notice a bit of a difference with the cats, with Stella, Boo, Simba. Not Splash so much, but Stella, Boo, and Simba definitely seemed more playful at times during the day, especially like after dinner. The 3 of them seem to have more energy, and even now they're like all wide awake. Usually now they'd all be like taking a nap somewhere or already sleeping, and you can see he's still awake. The downstairs cats had some of the low-carb food, but they also had some of the other food with more carbs in it, just because I have a lot of it. So I figured if I give them, half the low-carb food and then half the other food that I have, it'll average out, but eventually the goal would be to get them on lower-carb food also. So it's a gradual process. They are doing okay. They were very active today while I was out. So I was out all afternoon running errands and looking at cat food in the stores. And when I checked the security camera footage, they were pretty much very active in the house. And then for dinner, probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock, I got them all downstairs, and they've been down there since. Right now, I do hear someone meowing. like they want to come upstairs, so they seem to be a bit more active also. And I was surprised to see little Eva playing more than she usually has been playing, so I don't know if it's the food or she's just feeling better now, since it's been like a week since they've got the first dose of dewormer. And I have not been scooping any diarrhea out of the litter boxes, so for a few days they had diarrhea, or somebody had diarrhea, both upstairs and downstairs. And today was the first day where I was not scooping any diarrhea, so hopefully everyone is feeling better as far as their digestive system goes. Now, we did have one very bad thing that happened today, and that is this evening after dinner, Splash sprayed one of the curtains or the drapes in the dining room. So I was literally watching him do that, and I was like, Splash, what are you doing? Stop that. Splash, don't do that. He was just like looking at me as he's spraying and meowing at me. It was like compulsive, like he couldn't stop. So I was not happy, but at least I saw it, so I knew what was going on. So I had to take down like the curtain rod, take the curtain off, and then it said dry clean only, but I was like, you know what, these curtains are old. I'm just going to put them in the washing machine. So I actually just put the one curtain in the washing machine, the one he sprayed on. And it came out okay, so I have it drying in my laundry room, and I have like a fan on it, so hopefully it'll be okay. Boo just jumped on the bed. And so that was the one bad thing. And then this evening, Splash was using the litter boxes more often than he normally should. But because he was spraying, at least I know he doesn't have a blockage. I don't even think he has a UTI. I think it's more of a marking issue and a spraying issue due to stress, because that's what it would be when he was peeing on the pillow. Like he was marking that area of the sofa. Now I did put another wee-wee pad on it, another training pad. So there's 2 training pads there. So if he goes and uses that, but yeah, we'll have to see how tonight goes. Hopefully tonight will be quiet. Hopefully it'll be non-eventful. Hopefully I could get a good night's sleep, like a full night's sleep. That's why I'm trying to get to bed at a decent hour. So there's Boo, and there's Simba, and yeah, so today was day 1 on low-carb food for the cats, and we'll see how tomorrow goes. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.